In 1945, Berlin lay in ruins. The Second World War had ended, but peace had not yet begun. Across Europe, cities were shattered, and nations were exhausted. A new conflict was quietly taking shape. Germany was divided among the victorious powers. The United States, Britain, France, and the Soviet Union each took control of a zone. Berlin, though deep inside Soviet territory, was also divided. At first, cooperation seemed possible, but ideological differences soon surfaced. The West embraced democracy and free markets. The Soviet Union enforced communist control. West Berlin began rebuilding quickly. Shops reopened, newspapers printed freely. Life slowly returned to normal. In the East, control tightened. Propaganda filled public spaces. Long lines formed outside state-run stores. Freedom felt increasingly distant. In 1948, the Soviet Union blocked West Berlin. Roads were sealed. Rail lines were cut. West Berlin stood isolated inside Soviet territory. The United States responded with the Berlin Airlift. Cargo planes flew day and night. Food, fuel, and hope rained down from the sky. But tension did not disappear. Millions began fleeing East Germany. Families carried what little they could. Students, workers, and doctors crossed into the West. The East German government grew alarmed. Border controls tightened. Guards watched every movement. Escape routes slowly disappeared. On August 13, 1961, everything changed. Berliners woke to the sound of construction. Barbed wire stretched across streets overnight. Soldiers sealed off entire neighborhoods. Concrete barriers replaced the wire. Families were suddenly divided. Windows that once opened to neighbors now faced a wall. Streets were cut in half without warning. Guard towers rose above the city. Armed patrols monitored every movement. Searchlights swept across the border at night. Fear settled over East Berlin. Checkpoint Charlie became the face of confrontation. American and Soviet forces stood just meters apart. The world watched nervously. One wrong move could have sparked a global war. But even concrete could not stop hope. Some began digging tunnels beneath the wall. In dark basements, young men worked in silence. Every shovel of dirt brought them closer to freedom. Families crawled through narrow underground passages. Children were carried through the darkness. Each step was filled with fear, but turning back was not an option. Others attempted daring escapes above ground. Some jumped from apartment windows near the border. Crowds gathered on the western side. Every successful escape became a symbol of resistance. Protests slowly began to grow. Whispers of change spread across East Germany. People demanded freedom, and the wall that seemed permanent began to weaken. By the late 1980s, the pressure had become unstoppable. Thousands gathered in the streets. They demanded freedom. They demanded change. On November 9, 1989, an announcement changed everything. The borders were to be opened. Confusion turned into disbelief, then into celebration. Crowds climbed onto the wall. Strangers embraced. Families reunited after decades apart. The wall that divided a city began to fall. Concrete crumbled. Barriers disappeared. Germany stood united once again, and the world witnessed the power of freedom, because no wall lasts forever.